Most people barely touch any of the brush settings in Affinity Photo 2, and honestly, I think the Brush Studio is wildly underestimated. So today I'm going to show you 5 custom brushes that you can make that will instantly level up your art and show you exactly what Affinity Photo 2 is capable of. And it will completely change how you see what Affinity can do. There's no denying that Affinity's Brush Studio is a lot simpler than Procreate's powerhouse of a brush studio. There are only 3 main tabs of settings that you can change in Affinity, but that doesn't mean you can't still make something really great. Fewer settings doesn't mean fewer possibilities, it just means that's a little more focused. And once you understand what each of the tabs controls, you can create some seriously beautiful brushes without having to adjust hundreds of toggles to make it. And instead of just making 5 random brushes for this video, we're gonna build a really simple collection of brushes that you can use to actually make something. Each brush I show you is gonna become part of one scene, and by the end, you'll see how all 5 of them work together to make this really pretty grassy scenery that you can use to make the base of any illustration. So we're gonna start with the foundation. I'm just calling it a Speckled filler brush. This is gonna give our scene a soft, hand-painted base that will make our whole scene feel cohesive. So let's go ahead and get started. But before we make that brush, the first thing I want to do is create a new brush category for all of our brushes to go into. So in the Brush Studio, I'll tap on the Document menu and then tap on Add New Category. I'm going to give my category a name. These are meant for landscapes, so I'm going to say Landscape Brushes and then tap on OK. Now our category is ready for our brushes to live in. For each of these brushes, we need to have an image for the shape ready. Some of the brushes will use the default texture or grain, but we also need to have a grain ready as well. This is just one of the default brushes, but this Brush Studio translates black into your brush's appearance, so the images you use should contrast black with a white background. And just keep in mind, any grayscale will add some transparency to the appearance of your brush. I keep a collection of textures and brush shapes in my Files app on my iPad. They can be something that you've drawn or painted on a piece of paper and then scanned. The textures can be from photos that you take, or even scans of paper or stock images of shapes and grains. But for this brush, I'm just going to use the existing tools within Affinity to make our new custom brush shapes and textures. So I'm using this canvas that is 1000 pixels by 1000 pixels, and it's set to 300 dpi, and I have the color set to black. And to make our first image, I'm gonna choose a brush from the dry media brush. I'm gonna use the square charcoal brush and increase the size and make a circle, just a free-form swirling circle, and then center it. When you paint a new and free-form shape, even with an existing brush, it's completely custom and will create an entirely unique brush. So now that I have my image made, I'm just gonna export this to my Files app. So I'll tap on the Document menu and tap on Export, and I want to save this as a JPEG. It's important that this saves as the JPEG because I want it to flatten with a white background. And I'm just going to give it a name, so Brush Image 1, just to keep them organized in my Files app. So I'll tap on OK and go into my Files app. Within my brush making folder I have in my Files app, I'm going to create a new folder and then just tap on Save. So I'm not quite ready to make the brush yet because I want to make a texture for it as well. So I'm just going to hide that layer and I'm just going to add a new pixel layer. From the existing brushes, I'm going to find the sprays and spatters, and I'm going to choose the finest spray and then pressure. I'm just going to make the brush size, or the nozzle size, I'm just going to make it rather large and just paint all over the canvas and just vary my pressure. And I'm just going to change the color to gray, and I'm gonna add some more just to create kind of a grayscale on it as well. And again, I will go ahead and save that as a JPEG, and I'll just call this Texture 1, and I'll just save this in my folder. So now I'm ready to create my brush. I'm just going to turn that layer off and add a new pixel layer so I can test my brush when I'm done. So I'll just go back to the category that I made and then tap on this menu and choose New Intensity Brush. So the first thing it's going to have you do is choose the shape of your brush. So I'll choose the image that I saved, and then in the Brush Studio, first I'll just give it a name. I just wanted to call this a Speckled filler brush, and now I can change the settings. The first thing I want to change is the spacing to 5%, and then I want to set wet edges to off. And this is a really easy brush, and I'm going to keep all of the rest of the settings default, even in the dynamics. I'm not going to change any of these. I'm just going to go straight to texture. I'll tap on set texture and open the texture that I made. And the other setting I want to change is change the mode to nozzle, but I like to keep it at 100%. And then I'll just tap on save. So now we have our first brush, and it is the Speckled filler brush. So in this pixel that I made, I'm going to demonstrate how to use this brush just within the same canvas. I'm going to choose a color from my swatches, and it's just this dark green here. And I'm just going to paint in a nice kind of blob patch of grass shape. It's speckled and it fills in, and that's why I call it a speckled filler brush. So for now, I'm just gonna turn that off, and then we can work on our next brush. And I'm just gonna put it at the bottom so we can go back to it later. I need to make more layers for the next images for our brushes. So now that we know how to make a brush, we can make something a little more advanced. This next brush is probably the most advanced brush of the set, since we need to use a few different effects just to create the images for our brush. And there's more settings within the brush that we'll be playing with. So first we need to draw 2 images that we're going to combine for this brush. So I'm going to go back to the dry media, and I am just going to choose the round chalk brush. And for this first image, I'm going to draw some speckles in a large triangle. And these are going to be what creates the texture of our brush. And this brush isn't actually going to use a base texture. It's going to rely mainly on the texture of the image that I make for the nozzle or the shape of the brush. So this is ready just to export. So I will just name this brush image 2. And you can name these anything you want. This is just what I'm doing because it makes it easy for me. And then I'll turn that one off and create a new pixel layer. So this next image needs to have a gradient and a blur. So first I'll make another large triangle. So I'll just kind of make a freeform shape, and then just to make this go quicker, I'll just use the flood fill tool. Now I need to create a new clipped layer so I can add a gradient to it. So I'm going to create a new layer and then clip it to that triangle. And then I will tap on the gradient tool and then just drag it here so that it shows up on my original triangle that I made. So this is just going to be, of course, a black and white gradient. And I'm just going to adjust these dots until it creates the gradient, a gradient that I like enough black and white grayscale gradient. And once I'm happy with that, I'm just going to rasterize it by going to the 3-dot menu and then tap on rasterize layers. And the final adjustment I want to make is a blur. So I'm going to tap on effects, and I'm just going to search out the blurs. And I just want to choose a simple Gaussian blur. On the adjustment bar here, I'll just move it so that it's slightly blurred, but you can still see its shape. And then when I'm happy with it, I'll tap on this check mark here. And now this is ready to export to my Files app. And so I just keep tapping on the name and then changing the number to it, so I don't have to keep typing stuff in. And so I'll tap on save. So with these images saved, I can make a new intensity brush. So I'm just gonna turn that off and then just create a new pixel layer so I'm not looking at it. I'll go back to my folder and then create a new intensity brush. And I'm gonna choose the speckled image first. This is going to have a really original name. I'm calling it a Painty Brush. Please forgive my silly name, but I can't think of anything good. The first setting I'm going to change is the size, and I'm just going to type it in as 94 pixels. And then the hardness, I'm going to set it to 0. I want it to have a little bit of a softness to the edges. Flow, I'm gonna set to 70%, accumulation, 75%, and then spacing, this can just be kind of adjusted to however you like, but I think I'm gonna land on 6% for this one. And then rotation, I'm just gonna put all the way to 50% and set wet edges to off. Under the dynamics tab, we're gonna make some fun adjustments here. The first one is the size. I'm gonna set the size to 40%, and it's set to pressure, and I'm gonna adjust the pressure graph. I'm gonna clear out what they have here, move the y-axis down to about halfway. So I just tap away so I can adjust the next one, which is flow, and I'm gonna set that to 100%. And then this is also gonna be changed by pressure, and do the same thing, just lower the y-axis. And then accumulation, it's also gonna be 100% and set to pressure, and then again, lowering that y-axis. And rotation, that's gonna go up to 100%, but this one's gonna be changed by the direction. So it'll be changed by the direction that you move your stylus. And then finally, I'm just gonna change the scatter X to 10%, and that's gonna be at random. and then the scatter Y to 10%, and also at random. And then on the texture tab, this is where I'm gonna combine the first image that I made with that second image. So I'll tap on add and then choose that second brush image. And you can see how it has combined the two. And then the only other thing I'm gonna do is set the interpolation to pressure, but I'm not gonna set any base texture. I like it how it is, so I will tap on save. So now we have our Painty Brush. I'm gonna turn on our little picture that we're making with these, add a new layer and just put it on top of my original one to clip it, and then go back to our color palette. Do want to increase the size and then just paint in some different greens within the set, add some variation and texture and kind of like give it a painted look. These next brushes are going to come together really quickly, and for this next one I'll be drawing out 2 images and then combine them inside the brush studio to make a really unique shape. I'm calling this brush a foliage based texture brush. This is going to be good for grass texture or even texture like on a bush or a tree. So the shapes I'm making are very textured and free form. They're going to be combined on top of each other and randomized, and they're going to be soft, and so I just want to add enough texture for the brush studio to capture and get what I'm trying to make with this brush. As I draw them, I'm just saving them as those JPEGs into my Files app. And for this brush, I'm also going to be using the same texture from the first brush just to make life easier, and it's a really great texture to reuse. So now that both of our images are ready, we can start making our new intensity brush. And I'll just choose the first image that I made. And I'm just gonna name this the name that I had intended, which was the Foliage Base Textured Brush. And all I'm doing on this first general tab is set the spacing to 5 and then turn wet edges off. And then I'll go to dynamics. So I want this brush to have a lot of variation. So the first thing I'll change is the size. So I'm just gonna change it to 20%. It'll be changed by pressure, but I'm not gonna make any adjustments to the pressure. And then in rotation, I'm gonna set it all the way up to 100%, but I'm gonna have it change at random. And you can see how it randomizes the shape there for us already. And then for the scatter X, I'm gonna change this to 230%. It's kind of a lot. And I want this also at random. And then scatter Y, I'm gonna say 175%, and then also at random. And so it adds that variation not just from side to side, but up and down. And then under texture, we need to add that second image. And I accidentally saved it twice, so oops. And then for the base texture, I'll tap on that set texture and then use that original texture that I made. And then I'm gonna set the mode to nozzle, and you can see how that has changed how the brush looks. And then I can just tap on save, and there it is. And with that brush ready, I can create some more texture to our little patch of grass. So I'm just gonna add a new pixel layer above it and paint some variation to our base layer and add more texture around it. So I'll grab that brush and then just pick up these different greens again and just add some kind of bushiness, some foliageness, and just change the greens and just make that variation to it. And it's kind of like a tapping motion that I'm making them darker and lighter, but this is just meant to add some variation. And as we create more brushes and add some more details to this, a lot of this will make more sense, and we can go back over with some of the other brushes that we made. So let's go ahead and make the next brush that we need. So now I want to make a brush that is good for grassy texture. I'm going to call it a grassy brush. To draw the image for our brush, I'm going to go to the inking category. I want to choose the Sharp Bleeding Inker. It's kind of a funny name. This brush is going to be good for grassy texture. I'm just going to make 5 different images to combine for this brush. Each one is going to be a few flicks of the brush curving up, so they kind of look like blades of grass. I'm just gonna make them buried and make sure I have at least one that's curved the opposite way. I'm just saving them separately in my folder. Back in my collection of brushes, I'm gonna create a new intensity brush and then just choose the first image. We're gonna add the rest of them once we get to the last texture tab, so I'll just give this a name. So we're gonna call it a grassy brush. And I'm going to set the spacing to 10%. And then everything else can just set as default. So I'm going to turn wet edges off. And then under dynamics, I'm going to adjust the size to 55%. and then leave it as a pressure. And then I'm just going to go down to scatter X and set that to 200%, have that set as pressure as well. And then scatter Y, I'm just going to set that to 75%. I don't want it to scatter up and down too much. That one is just going to be at random. So now under the texture tab, we'll just add the rest of the grass images that we made. I'm just going to keep stacking them on top of each other. Stack and then add and then add and then stack it on. So it just makes a nice little variation of grass. Just tap on save, and then we can go back to our image down here and then add a new layer, a new pixel layer. And with that new brush selected, let's just add in a little bit of grass. This is again just a little bit of a tapping motion. The size is going to vary automatically depending on the pressure that you put on your Apple Pencil, but you can also adjust the size however you like, and just kind of match the color of the texture that's already laid down with the grass that you're putting down. You just want to add some, but not too much. You don't want to overdo it, just add enough of the impression that this is grass, adding it so that it blends in. So this last brush that I want to make is going to be a stamp brush, and it's just a simple stamp brush to add some pretty flower shapes, but they'll look more organic and blend in with the grass because we're going to make it random. It's going to be scattered, it's going to be random. And again, I'll draw in my shape, and we can draw a few different images. Even if it's a stamp brush, it can be randomized within the brush settings for even more variation. So I'll just go back to that dry media, and I'm just going to draw a few little flower shapes. And these don't even have to be very pretty flower shapes. It just has to be random enough, and because when you look at a flower, it doesn't really look like a flower all the time. I'm just gonna make about 3 for this one, but just vary them enough and don't have them kind of all clustered in one area. And you can make it even simpler by just creating those little star shapes just to give the impression of a flower. It does not have to be pretty or precise. And so now I have 3 different images that I'm gonna use to make this brush. We're just gonna make our final intensity brush and choose the first image, doesn't matter which one. The name I'm gonna give this one is just a flower stamp. The spacing on this one is very important, so the spacing needs to be all the way up to 200%. Gonna turn wet edges off. In the dynamics, this is also important. So I'm gonna set the size to 75%. You can also just type it in for more precision, and it can be changed by pressure. Again, pressure is fine. Turn on rotation to 100%, and this is going to be set at random. On the texture tab, just gonna start adding the other images that I made, and you can see how it varies in the little previewer. And I will set a texture. I'm gonna set the texture that I made, just reusing that same texture, which is totally fine. And then again, change the mode to nozzle. This is gonna help it blend in really nicely with the other components of our little landscape that we're making. So I'll just hit save. And now I can just use this brush to add some flowers, increase the size a bit. Also, you can choose the existing colors for some more flowers that kind of blend in. Just not too much, it's just a little bit of flowers within this grass. This is just a little patch that I made, but this can be an entire landscape made this way. This is a really great collection of nature brushes that you can use, and now you know how to make them, and now you know how to blend them together to make a really pretty grassy green landscape. Not only have we learned how to make brushes in Affinity, but we're also equipped with some really great tools to make beautiful hand-painted scenery. And I've linked my color palette in the description box down below if you would like to try to paint this scene yourself in Affinity. And if you're a paid member on my Patreon, you're gonna also get the brushes that I made in this video. But if you're interested in another way you can make beautiful art in Affinity Photo 2, I show you how to use the pattern layer tool to make beautiful seamless patterns in this video right here.